Hello, my name is Kelsey Elder. I am a freshman in college working towards my associate's degree for liberal arts. Once I receive my associate's degree, I then plan to transfer to Ferris University or Central Michigan University and receive my bachelor's degree in elementary education. I currently work in an elementary school as a paraprofessional and plan to one day become a teacher at the same elementary school. That's enough about me. Now let's talk about my capstone project. I decided to do this project on the three fires. I chose this topic because I thought it would be interesting to learn about the early history of Michigan. When people think about the three fires, they aren't thinking about the tribes of the three fires. They think about the time there was a literal fire. I've never heard of the three fire tribes before taking this course, which made it more interesting to learn about. A brief introduction to my topic is there were three tribes that were known as the three fires. Those tribes were the Chippewa, also known as the Ojibwa, Ottawa, and Potawatomi tribes. The tribes thought of themselves as family, Chippewa being the eldest brother, Ottawa being the next brother, and Potawatomi being the youngest brother. Reading through different articles has been interesting because each one has their own facts. The early history before the three fires is important to know and learn about how they got their name, the three fires, contribution from each of the three tribes, and how they were involved with creating and exploring Michigan. The first main idea about my topic is the early history of the three fires. The Three Fires Confederacy declared war on the Iroquois at the end of the 17th century. Iroquois people expanded their territory into southern Ontario 50 years early. They were known as being antagonistic neighbors. The Three Fires expelled the Iroquois back to their original homeland. After sending them back to their own land, it left a vast majority of territory unoccupied, which allowed the Chippewa tribe to expand south. The Iroquois people were not going to back down and just let them kick them off their territory. Iroquois people were upset they got kicked off the land and were going to do everything in their power to not allow the three tribes any extra land. The three tribes came from the eastern seaboard in escape of the fierce Iroquois people and to find better land for their growing population. It was all a huge fight over land and territory. My second main idea is how they got the name Three Fires. The Three Fires are also known as the Three Council Fires. They had to choose such a name that the Iroquois people would not know it was them. The translation of the name is Keepers of the Sacred Fire. It was taken to signify the three tribes and establish them with protection for the Iroquois people. During the time that tribal leaders established the Confederacy of the Three Fires is when they thought of such a sacred name to keep them safe. It also relates to the three causes of suffering, given as hate, greed or restlessness, and dullness of mind. With the three fires being made up by three different tribes came the opportunity to create different goods. My third main idea is how each tribe contributed to living. During certain months of the year, there were only certain things each tribe could produce. The Chippewa tribe inhabited the northern upper Great Lakes. In order for them to survive in the harsh environments, they had to live in small bands, usually consisting of 20 to 25 families. During the summer, the tribes would use hooks, spears, and nets to catch whitefish, perch, sturgeon, and other fish they use as food. Men of the families would hunt small game, which meant squirrels, raccoons, and other small wildlife. The elders, women, and children gathered nuts, berries, and honey. All the gatherings and fish they caught would be set aside for use in the winter. The winter months were one of the hardest for this tribe. Food became scarce and family items were scarce. Families had to share the most valuable items among each other in order to survive. In the spring months, they collected sap and boiled it into maple syrup. The Chippewa tribe did not engage in farming like the Ottawa tribe. The Ottawa tribe was similar to the Chippewa tribe living style. However, in the summertime they engaged in excessive farming. Ottawa people lived in bark-covered lodges in the lower peninsula. Chippewa and Ottawa had similar social and political structures. They believed that the most important social custom was reciprocity. That means if they do something or keep someone something, they had the expectation that they would do something in return. Another reciprocity they believed in was goods and services were to be of equal value. The last tribe involved in the Three Fires was the Potawatomi Tribe. The Potawatomi Tribe was primarily agricultural people. Like most of the other tribes, the Potawatomi never numbered more than 5,000 or 6,000. If they were to extend past that number, they would have to break away from the Three Fires. Like the other two tribes, they had specific things they could do during certain months. During the summer months, they formed large villages, usually near fertile lands along the rivers and streams. Women would do most of the planting and farming. They would plant corn, squash, beans, melons, and tobacco. Men, on the other hand, went to the forests and waterways to hunt and fish. Final harvesting occurred in the fall, and the villages were moved into the heart of the forest. Moving the villages into the forest helped them be protected from the winter winds, and hunting would be more prominent. Springtime was kind of like the Chippewa tribe. However, they used the sap for sugar and syrup. My last main idea is how they explored Michigan. The three tribes, Chippewa, Ottawa, and Potawatomi, all played a role in exploring Michigan. They all traveled around Michigan looking for the perfect place to live. Each of the tribes lived in different environments, hence the reason they each had different jobs. Each tribes were given certain boundaries for living and could not exceed those boundaries. I believe this helped Michigan because the tribes produced goods and services for those who were already living in Michigan before them. It helped out the other people with bringing in their skills of hunting, fishing, farming, and trading. Historical significance I found while doing this is the tribes moved because of military and political purposes. Each tribe had similar language and culture among each other. They shared territory in order to make a living, and they traded amongst each other because not each tribe could produce what all the other tribes could produce. I learned a lot from my topic. One main takeaway from this project was how the three different tribes survived by trading with each other. Each tribe was known for producing goods and would trade with others. Another takeaway is their unique name. Creating such a name with many different meanings just to protect themselves from the Iroquois people, Another main takeaway is that it all occurred because a war was about to happen. The Iroquois people found it unfair for them to be kicked off their territory for other people to make a living on it. Last main takeaway is that the three fires took place in the state I currently live in. I find it interesting to learn about the place I have grown up so far.